Alright, Mr. Taliaferro TV. Okay, what we're gonna do here is play a little game of Devil's Advocate, alright? We're gonna be talking about a huge record that dropped in the last week or so. The name of the record is called Motorsport. Yeah, Motorsport. You've heard it. It's by your favorite group out there, the Migos. This is their new record, presumably off their new album, Culture 2, which we believe is coming probably in the next couple months, maybe at the top of 2018, but this is the Migos' new single, all right? The Migos, this is the first time they've ever did a rollout like this, and I'm kind of concerned, I'm not gonna lie to you. Usually the Migos, they just give you bodies of work, they just give you tapes, and they let the people decide what singles are gonna be the ones to go, or what records are gonna be their singles, rather. They usually don't do this approach. This is different for the Migos, and it's new to me for the label, Motown Records, to be actually saying, here's the single, we're gonna put some money in this single, we're gonna put some money in this record, and we're gonna push it. Now, the only reason why it makes sense to push this as a single is because you have two superstars on it, all right? You got Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. Now, Nicki Minaj, to me, is always going to be hot to a degree. I know there are a lot of people out there who say Nicki Minaj is not as hot musically as she was in the past, and I will agree with that, yes. But I will say this, when Nicki Minaj drops a record, hate it or love it, or whatever you want to say about it, we're talking about it, right? When Cardi B now, when she hops on any record, and I'm talking about not just Bodak Yellow, the G-Eazy record and this Motorsports record, we want to hear Cardi B. People been comparing her as a younger Nicki Minaj. Every time she puts out the record, we want to check for it. Every time she's featured on the record, we want to check for it. So when you get these two women, I want to call Nicki a superstar and Cardi B an up and growing star. When you get these two people on one record, obviously people are going to speculate and see who killed it the most. All right. So with that being said, there is a media personality out there. Name goes by Joe Budden, and he works for a show called Everyday Struggle. For those who don't know what Everyday Struggle is, it is an up and coming show on Complex. And you see in the picture right there, he's on the show. Joe Budden has come up with this theory, right? He has come up with this crazy off-the-wall theory as to why this record, or why Nicki and Cardi B ended up on the same record. And I don't know if I believe it, or I don't know how I feel about it, all right? We're going to break this theory down, all right? We're going to break it down in totality of what exactly Joe Budden believes happened. He believes, right? I'm not, this is me paraphrasing Joe Budden. He believes that when this record came out, because Nicki came out and made a statement the other day, and she was like, look, Quavo and me were the only two people on the record originally. And then Quavo called her and was like, hey, I'm going to put the other Migos on this record, and I'm going to put Cardi B on the record as well. And Nicki was like, I'm cool with Cardi B being on the record. And that's how she says it went. Everything Nicki Minaj related to her, she said, has to be cleared through her. There is nothing that can go out without Nicki Minaj clearing it. She said that on Twitter, and we're just going to roll with that, all right? Now, Joe Budden's theory is that didn't happen. Joe Budden was like, look, play the Nicki Minaj record or the Motorsports record, the Migos record, play it without Cardi B on it, and the record makes a lot more sense, all right? Joe was claiming that you can actually tell that Cardi's verse, or on the record, didn't sonically sound like it was produced at the same time as Nicki's verse or the Migos verse. He was like, look, take Cardi's verse out of it. And I will admit this, it makes a lot more sense. It will then be what, Offset, then Quavo, then Nicki, then Takeoff. And remember, Takeoff's verse, who I actually thought had a better verse than Offset and Quavo on this record, Takeoff's verse is actually a response to Nicki's verse, all right? So again, there you have a record where it's literally the Migos and Nicki Minaj. I'll admit that makes a lot of sense. Cardi's verse doesn't make just a crap ton of sense. So Joe Budden's theory is Cardi had no business being on the record. Offset made have told her last minute, yo, we got this record with Nicki Minaj. It sounded like she threw a jab at you. You want to hop on this record? And Joe Budden believes that Cardi B is actually responding to Nicki Minaj on the record, all right? We will have to break down some of the bars. I don't know if that's actually true, but this is a conspiracy theory out there Do I believe it? Do I subscribe to this theory that Cardi B is actually dissing Nicki Minaj on her own record? I don't know if I believe that, man. That's like some next level type thinking. And why would you subscribe to that? Like, what? Cardi B has said nothing but positive things about Nicki every time she brought Nicki up. And Nicki Minaj, to her credit, even though Joe Budden believes this is some type of conspiracy plot to end Nicki Minaj, Joe Budden has pretty much said Nicki and Cardi have been throwing sublims at each other. I don't know if that's true or not. One could assume that there's a level of competition in place with these two women, but to go as far as to say somebody tried to take somebody off a record, now a lot of people start putting this together. Nicki Minaj has beef with Atlantic. If you heard in Nicki Minaj's verse, if I remember correctly, it was somebody, you could get hit with the fades, Lil Uzi, and all of my friends are dead. Well, it's you could get hit with the fade, Lil Boosie. Then it's like all of my friends are dead, Lil Uzi, and a lot of people are like, she's taking a shot at Atlantic, and Cardi B's on Atlantic. So Atlantic heard this record, and they heard the record without, you know, records get shopped around the industry all the time. They heard this record without Cardi on it. Obviously, Offset, Cardi B, you get the connection there. Offset told Cardi B about the record. Cardi told Atlantic about it. This is not my theory. I'm just telling you what it is. And Atlantic was like, yo, we need to get, number one, we need to get Cardi B on this record. And number two, there's another record that is done. It's the Lil Uzi remix on one of the records on his project. It hasn't got cleared. The Way Life Goes with Nicki Minaj on the remix, it hasn't got cleared. So people who subscribe to the same theory that Cardi B is dissing Nicki Minaj on this record, on the same record that they're on, also believe that Atlantic is kind of stopping anything with Nicki Minaj to the best of their abilities get put out. Now, Nicki's not on Atlantic, but she's been having a difficult time put out records when there's anybody in relation to Atlantic on it. And people believe that Uzi's on Atlantic, by the way. People believe that Atlantic is trying their best to stop Nicki's momentum and wave to grow their star in Cardi B. Again, if you subscribe to this theory, you're better than me. I don't really have time to think, yo, does Nicki not want this record out, or did Nicki try her best to not block the record? Because people are talking about how Nicki didn't promote the single like she promoted records in the past. It took her a day or so to even acknowledge that the record was out. When Rack It Up came out, Nicki Minaj was promoting the hell out of the record as soon as it dropped. A lot of people are saying Nicki ain't really happy that this record is out, and that she's not happy that Cardi B and her on the same record, because people believe, and this is part of Joe Budden's conspiracy theory, that Nicki with Cardi on a record is kind of Nicki saying, I can't come up with my own heat. Let me go grab the youngest, hottest woman in the game right now and make sure she's on a record. But again, it's not even Nicki's record. It's the Migos record, for those who forgot that. And the Migos have kind of denied any of this, and Nicki's denied it, and Cardi ain't really been asked about it. Look, man, I don't know. I mean, it makes for great entertainment, but to subscribe that Nicki and Cardi are under the cover throwing shots at each other, literally, I think it's blasphemous. We ain't there yet. Like, hopefully we never get there. I don't want to see two women rappers tear each other down. Part of the problem is we always bringing up Nicki Minaj because there's not that many women artists, right? There's not that many of them doing a thing at a level that Nicki's doing. So it feels like every time somebody puts out a record, it's a shot at Nicki. Anytime a woman says, I'm coming for the top spot, we know Nicki's the top rapper. So again, you be the judge of that. Try to ingest everything that I said, or digest it rather. Talk to me in the comment box below. Do you believe that Cardi B is responding to Nicki on her own record, and that this is all some sort of conspiracy plan by Atlantic and everybody else, the powers that be, to get Nicki Minaj the hell out of here? You talk to me in the comment box below. Again, if you can put something better than I can, put it together for me in the comment section. Thank y'all for the time, love, support. I do not take it for granted. And talk to me about the Motorsports record. I really don't care for the record that much. I thought Nicki went in. I thought Nicki had a really good verse. I thought Cardi's verse was right behind Nicki's. I thought Takeoff verse was third. But after that, Quavo and Offset, the Beyonce and Kelly Rowland of the group, verses were not up to par. It's not a typical Migos record for me. I don't like the record like that. So I will say this: it does feel like the Migos just were forced to put this record out. When have we ever seen the Migos put a single out? They never do business like that. They never do that. Subscribe to my channel for more exclusive reactions and conversations like this of the culture. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty.